All right, so today's deep dive, we're going to be looking at this company, and they're really into the Internet of Things.
Yeah.
You sent me this big stack of marketing materials. I've got brochures, all sorts of things.
Great.
And yeah, they're really into like smart cities. They want to use sensors to track like the freshness of groceries and warehouses, all sorts of things.
It's really interesting how IoT is moving beyond just like connecting devices
Exactly.
and into actually using that data to make things work better.
Yeah, like that's one of the things that caught my eye is they're saying they can make this technology accessible even if you don't know how to program,
Right.
which is really neat.
Yeah, that's a big hurdle for a lot of companies, I think.
Definitely. And they've got this whole sensor catalog here, which is really, it's amazing, all the different sensors they have.
They're cool.
And then they send over this case study, too, about how they helped some company slash their energy costs.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm intrigued. I'm ready to dive in.
Yeah, case studies are always where it gets really interesting.
Totally. So I guess for this deep dive, let's kind of break down what's their story, and then we can look at some of the specific like solutions they offer. And then, we'll analyze that case study, see how impactful their work can actually be.
Yeah, sounds good. Why don't we start with IOTONIX themselves?
Okay.
What's their deal?
So IOTONIX, their first commercial contract was 2022. So they're really new to this. And now they're all about these like ready-made solutions.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a smart move, though, with technology changing so fast.
Right.
Companies need to adapt.
Yeah.
Seems like they've done a good job doing that.
Yeah. And like you were saying, accessible for companies, especially those who maybe don't have their own tech teams.
Right. Exactly.
They're ready to go solutions.
Makes sense.
So yeah, and they've got like 7 support locations across Thailand. So they really want to make sure that everything runs smoothly.
Cool.
But let's get to the juicy stuff.
Yeah.
How do they actually like approach IoT?
Right.
What makes them stand out?
So one thing that I noticed right away is they really emphasize speed.
Okay.
They say businesses can connect devices in minutes,
Well,
have basic dashboards running in hours,
wow.
build applications in weeks, and start using data to improve their processes within months.
Hold on, weeks, really?
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
That seems incredibly fast.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that speed comes from their focus on what they call COTS solutions.
COTS.
Yeah.
What's that?
So it stands for commercial off the shelf.
Okay.
Basically, pre-built applications for specific needs. So air quality monitoring, tracking carbon footprints, energy use.
Oh, wow.
They even have stuff for smart cities.
So it's like they have a toolkit ready to go.
Right, exactly.
No need to build everything from scratch.
It's all ready.
That makes sense, especially for businesses who want to see results quickly.
Exactly.
But wouldn't that limit like customization?
That's a good question, but they actually have different implementation models to give customers flexibility.
Okay.
So it's kind of like choosing from a menu. They have as a service where IOTONIX handles everything remotely.
Okay.
Turnkey for a complete hands-off package platform. Only for those who want to build their own applications on top of IOTONIX's system.
Okay.
Edge an application to connect to existing platforms, and even leasing options.
So they've thought of everything.
Yeah, seems like it.
Every way a business might want to use their tech.
Exactly.
So once a company chooses their model and their solution,
right,
what kind of applications are we talking about?
Well, they have a bunch, but let's start with something that I think everyone can relate to.
Okay.
Air quality.
Air quality.
Yeah.
Especially here in Bangkok.
Right, exactly.
The hot topic.
Big time. And IOTONIX really focuses on how their air quality application can improve well-being in offices.
Okay.
Help industrial companies stay compliant with regulations, protect employee health, and get this. Their research shows that employees can be up to 61% more productive
61%.
on cognitive tasks when they're breathing good quality air.
That's
huge.
a big difference.
You'd think companies would be lining up
Right.
just for that?
Just for the productivity boost.
What kind of sensors do they use to measure air quality?
Well, they use a whole bunch.
Okay.
They measure everything from particulate matter, which is that stuff that makes the air hazy,
Right.
to carbon dioxide VOCs, which are chemicals released from everyday things like paint and cleaning supplies.
So it's not just about measuring one thing.
No, it's about the whole
It's
picture
about getting a full picture.
of what we're breathing,
Exactly.
both indoors and outdoor.
Indoors and outdoors.
But you know what else has been on everyone's mind lately?
What's that?
Carbon footprints.
Oh, yeah, big time.
How does IOTONIX help companies like measure those and manage them?
So they focus on what are called scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions.
Okay.
Which basically categorize all the ways that a company might be contributing to greenhouse gases.
Okay, break that down for me.
Yeah.
What are scope 1, 2, and 3?
Okay, so scope 1 is the direct emissions from a company's operations, like burning fuel in their vehicles, running their boilers, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Scope 2 is a little more indirect. It covers the emissions from the electricity, heat, or steam that they buy from someone else.
So even if they're not producing the energy themselves, they're still accountable.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, scope 3 is where it gets really tricky because that's everything else in their supply chain.
Like what?
Business travel employee commutes the waste they produce.
Wow.
Even emissions from the products they buy from suppliers.
That's a lot to keep track of.
It is a lot.
So how does IOTONIX help with all of that?
Well, they use sensors throughout the company's operations and supply chain to gather data on fuel consumption, waste generation, all of that. And this lets them see exactly where their emissions are coming from so they can set targets to reduce those emissions.
So what's the driving force behind all this?
Yeah.
Is it just about being environmentally conscious?
I mean, that's part of it.
Yeah.
But it's becoming a lot more than that. Remember, 193 countries have committed to reducing emissions.
Right.
Thailand, where IOTONIX is based, has its own climate change act. So this means businesses need to get serious about tracking and reducing their carbon footprint.
So it's not just a feel-good initiative anymore.
Right.
It's becoming a legal requirement.
Exactly.
Speaking of regulations, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Talk about something maybe a little more niche, but still really interesting. Diesel fuel management.
Oh, yeah. So this is where they've partnered with a company called Technoton JV.
Okay.
And they use these special sensors that can actually monitor the flow and levels of diesel fuel.
Okay.
In vehicles, generators, boilers, all sorts of things.
So what's the benefit there? Is it just about knowing how much fuel is left?
It's way more than that.
Okay.
They really highlight how this data can improve fuel efficiency, cut costs for fleet operations, optimize how fleets are managed, and even enhance safety and prevent theft.
Those are some big claims. How do they actually achieve all of that?
Well, by analyzing the fuel consumption data, they can identify things like inefficient driving habits or routes that just guzzle more fuel.
Oh, so it's about making smarter decisions about how the fleet operates.
Right.
Yeah.
And when it comes to theft prevention, they can set up alerts that go off if there's a sudden drop in fuel levels.
Oh, wow.
Imagine getting a notification on your phone the moment someone's siphoning fuel from your truck.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about air quality, carbon footprints, diesel fuel.
Right.
But let's be honest, for most businesses, the bottom line is saving money.
Of course.
Is that where the energy management application comes in?
You got it. IOTONIX really emphasizes the cost-saving potential and environmental benefits of their energy management application. And they provide this whole package with sensors, data analytics, easy-to-use dashboards, and even alerts.
So it's not just about measuring energy use. It's about understanding what that data means and then taking action.
Exactly.
What exactly can they monitor with it?
So they can monitor energy use down to the individual piece of equipment.
Really?
Imagine being able to see which machine in your factory is using the most energy, or which air conditioner in your office is running inefficiently.
I can see how that would be valuable.
Right.
For businesses trying to pinpoint where they're wasting energy, but they can also monitor energy use for like an entire building, right?
Absolutely. And that's especially important here in Southeast Asia, where air conditioning can account for up to 30%
30%
of a building's total energy use.
No wonder my electricity bill is so high.
Right.
So by understanding those patterns, they can help businesses make adjustments and save a lot of energy and money.
Exactly. And with real-time data and alerts, they can respond quickly to unusual energy spikes.
Oh, that's smart.
So they're not wasting energy without knowing it.
Okay.
It's like having a constant watchdog for your energy consumption.
This is fascinating stuff.
It is.
But let's take a moment to digest all this information.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground already.
We've talked about air quality, carbon footprints.
Right.
Diesel fuel, energy management.
Yeah.
But when we come back, we'll explore IOTONIX's solutions for smart cities, warehouse condition monitoring, and water management.
Sounds good. I'm ready for more.
Let's do it.
So we've seen how IOTONIX helps businesses with air quality, their carbon footprint, managing diesel fuel, and even saving energy.
Right, a lot of different applications.
It's amazing how they're using data to like optimize all these different aspects of a business.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
But what about applying this tech on like a larger scale?
Yeah.
Let's talk about their smart city application.
Okay. Yeah.
I've always been fascinated by the concept of smart cities.
Me too.
And it seems like IOTONIX is really making it a reality.
Yeah, they're definitely playing a key role
Okay.
in making cities smarter and more sustainable.
True.
Their smart city application focuses on managing some of the biggest challenges that cities face.
Very quiet.
Air quality weather conditions, noise pollution,
Oh, wow.
traffic congestion, water quality, and levels even power consumption.
So it's not just about like flashy technology.
Oh, no.
It's about using data to make cities more livable
Exactly.
and efficient.
More efficient.
Yeah.
Imagine a city where traffic lights adjust automatically
Okay.
to improve traffic flow based on real-time data.
Wow.
Or where air quality sensors trigger alerts and mitigation efforts when pollution reaches a certain level.
That's incredible.
It's pretty cool stuff.
So IOTONIX is making that happen.
Yeah, they're making it a reality.
And speaking of essential resources, what about water management?
Right.
In smart cities, water scarcity is a growing concern.
Absolutely. Especially in a region like Southeast Asia,
Yeah.
which faces both droughts and floods.
Right.
Efficient water management is essential.
So IOTONIX can help with that?
Their system can monitor water levels in reservoirs,
Okay.
track consumption patterns, and even pinpoint leaks
Wow.
in the distribution system.
So it's not just about providing enough water.
Right.
It's about using it wisely and preventing waste.
Exactly. And with climate change making weather patterns more unpredictable,
Right.
having a smart water management system
Yeah.
can be crucial for a city's survival.
Okay, so from managing entire cities to something a bit more focused, let's talk about warehouse condition monitoring.
Yep.
This one really piqued my interest.
Yeah.
I mean, a warehouse doesn't exactly scream high-tech,
Right.
but it turns out there's a lot of potential for optimization there.
You'd be surprised how much data you can get from a warehouse.
Really?
IOTONIX focuses on 3 key areas in warehouses: monitoring the overall ambience like temperature and humidity, keeping tabs on stockpile conditions,
Okay.
and ensuring air quality compliance.
So they're making sure that goods are stored in, like, optimal conditions.
Exactly.
So what kind of goods are we talking about here?
It could be anything.
Okay.
Perishable foods, temperature-sensitive pharmaceuticals,
Okay.
electronics, delicate materials, you name it.
So maintaining the right temperature and humidity is crucial
It's essential.
to prevent damage or spoilage.
Exactly. No one wants a melted chocolate bar.
Right. Or medicine that's lost its potency.
Exactly.
But what about stockpile conditions? Why is it important to monitor those?
Well, think about a large stockpile of grain, for example.
Okay.
If it's not properly ventilated, it can overheat and spontaneously combust.
Oh, wow. That's a scary thought.
Yeah, it can be dangerous.
So they're not just protecting goods, they're preventing disasters.
Exactly.
How do they actually monitor all of this? Do they have people like walking around the warehouse with clipboards?
No, not quite.
Okay.
They use a combination of stationary and mobile wireless sensors.
Okay.
The stationary ones are placed throughout the warehouse, and the mobile sensors can be attached to pallets or containers.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so they can track conditions as things move around.
So it's like having a constant stream of data on everything.
Pretty much.
That's amazing. What about air quality compliance? Why is that important in a warehouse?
A lot of industries have regulations regarding air quality,
Okay.
especially those handling food, pharmaceuticals, or hazardous materials.
Right.
IOTONIX's system can continuously monitor the air quality
Yeah.
and provide reports to prove compliance.
So they're not just helping businesses operate more efficiently.
No.
They're helping them stay on the right side of the law.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
This warehouse condition monitoring is fascinating.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
It really shows how IoT can be applied to optimize, like, even the most mundane parts of a business.
Right. And the benefits are clear, reduced waste, better product quality,
Okay.
enhanced safety, happier customers.
Okay, so we've covered smart cities and warehouses.
Right.
That leaves us with one last application to explore: water management.
Okay.
We touched on this briefly with smart cities, but I want to learn more about their approach to water management more broadly.
Sure. So they really highlight the connection between water consumption and energy use.
Okay.
Reducing water waste can also lead to energy savings and cost reductions.
Right, because it takes energy to pump and treat water.
Exactly. So it's good for business and the environment.
To conserve water.
Absolutely.
So how does IOTONIX actually help with water management?
Well, they focus on monitoring water flow, detecting leaks, and managing pressure.
Okay, let's start with monitoring water flow. What kind of insights can you get from that data?
By tracking water flow in real time,
Uh-huh.
businesses can identify areas of high consumption
Yep.
and potential leaks.
So they can take action quickly,
Right.
save water, prevent
Boom.
costly damage.
Exactly. A small leak can add up to a lot of wasted water
Right.
if you don't catch it early.
What about pressure management? How does that play a role?
Excessive water pressure can stress pipes,
Okay.
leading to leaks and bursts.
Right.
IOTONIX's system can monitor and adjust water pressure as needed,
Okay.
preventing those problems while still ensuring enough water flow.
So it's about finding the right balance
Exactly.
between enough pressure and not putting too much strain on the system.
Right. And by optimizing water pressure,
Okay.
businesses can also extend the lifespan of their plumbing,
Oh, that's smart.
which saves money in the long run.
Okay, so we've explored all 7 of IOTONIC's key applications.
We have.
Air quality, carbon footprint, diesel, fuel management, energy management, smart city warehouse condition monitoring, and water management.
That's a mouthful.
It's a lot. It's clear they offer like a really diverse range of solutions
They do.
that address a wide array of business needs.
And what's impressive is how they can tailor those solutions
Right.
to fit the specific needs of their customers.
Yeah, whether it's cutting costs, improving efficiency, enhancing safety, or promoting sustainability,
Exactly.
they really seem to have something to offer.
They do.
Speaking of their technology, we've mentioned sensors and gateways a few times.
Right.
Can you shed some light on those components and how they make all of this possible?
Absolutely. Sensors are the backbone of any IoT system.
Yeah.
They're the ones collecting data from the physical world
Okay.
and feeding it back to the platform for analysis.
Okay.
And IOTONIX offers a huge range of sensors.
I was looking through their sensor catalog earlier.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It is. It's like a window into all the different data points that can be tracked and analyzed.
Yeah.
You get valuable insights.
So the sensors collect the data, but how does that data actually get from the physical world
Yeah.
to the IOTONIX platform? That's where the gateways come in, right?
Exactly. Gateways act as intermediaries
Okay.
between the sensors and the platform.
Okay.
They gather data from multiple sensors and transmit it securely
Yeah.
to the cloud or local server.
So they're essentially like the communication hubs
Exactly.
of the IoT network.
Yeah.
What kind of gateways does IOTONIX offer?
They have a bunch of different options.
Okay.
They offer Siemens IoT gateways,
Okay.
which are known for being really reliable and secure.
Uh-huh.
They also have a CAN UP telematics gateway,
Okay.
specifically for vehicle tracking and fleet management.
Okay.
And then they have their own IOTONIX mini core gateway,
Okay.
which is compact and versatile.
So it seems like they have a gateway solution
Yeah.
for any need. But all this technology wouldn't be very impressive without real-world results. So let's shift our focus now to their success story about how they helped a company slash their energy costs.
All right, let's do it.
I'm eager to see how they put their technology into action and achieve such impressive results.
Okay, so this particular story focuses on their energy management application.
Okay.
And it involves a company called AIT,
Okay.
which interestingly is actually the parent company of IOTONIX.
Oh, so they use their own building as a testing ground.
Yeah, talk about putting your money where your mouth is.
Exactly. What specific challenges were they facing?
So AIT was struggling with really high energy costs.
Okay.
A whopping 70% of their energy bill was going towards air conditioning.
70%. Wow, that's a lot of money just to stay cool.
It's a lot.
What did IOTONIX do to tackle this energy drain?
So they took a very data-driven approach.
Okay.
They partnered with Energy IoT Co., Ltd.,
Okay.
to install power meters and sensors throughout the building.
Hello?
These sensors monitored everything from chiller water temperature to power consumption in different areas. They even tracked environmental factors like temperature, humidity, and PM 2.5 levels.
So they were gathering a ton of data
A lot of data.
on both the energy use and the environmental conditions.
Exactly. A very comprehensive picture.
But data alone doesn't solve problems. What did they do with all this information?
Right. So they collected data for an entire year.
A whole year.
Yeah, to get a complete picture of the building's energy consumption patterns.
That's dedication.
Yeah, and all of this analysis revealed some key inefficiencies.
Like what?
So the data showed that the building's 2 existing chillers weren't working well together.
Okay.
One was running all the time,
Uh-huh.
while the other wasn't really doing much.
Oh, wow.
They also found that humidity levels in the air ducts were often high,
Okay.
especially in the mornings, which was making the AC system work harder.
So they were able to pinpoint exactly where energy was being wasted.
Exactly.
But how do they fix these issues?
Based on the data,
Okay.
they decided to upgrade to a 3-chiller system.
Hold on. They added a chiller? Wouldn't that use more energy?
It seems counterintuitive, but the data showed that the 2-chiller system was just super inefficient. By adding a 3rd chiller and optimizing their operation, they could actually save a lot of energy.
So sometimes the solution isn't obvious.
Right.
It takes data to find the best approach.
Data is key.
What were the results of this chiller upgrade? Did it actually pay off?
The results were amazing.
Okay, give me the numbers.
All right, so in December 2019, the old chillers used 15,670 kilowatt hours.
Okay.
In December 2022, with the new chillers, consumption dropped to 10,057 kilowatt hours.
So a reduction of over 5,000 kilowatt hours.
Yeah, that's a big improvement.
But what does that mean in terms of actual cost savings?
Well, assuming the electricity rate in Bangkok at the time, that reduction translates to a monthly saving of about 63,128.76 Thai baht.
Wow, over 63,000 baht a month.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That's a significant return on their investment. But the savings weren't just limited to energy consumption, right?
You're right. They also saw a huge improvement in their specific energy consumption, or SEC.
Okay.
The old chillers had an average SEC of 2.24 kilowatts per refrigeration ton.
Okay.
But the new chillers had an average of 1.09 kilowatts per refrigeration ton.
So not only were they using less energy overall,
right,
but their new chillers were much more efficient.
Way more efficient.
This success story really highlights the power of data-driven decision-making.
It does.
By identifying inefficiencies and making strategic changes based on data, they were able to achieve some pretty remarkable cost savings.
And improve their overall energy efficiency.
And shows how IoT can be used to optimize building operations and reduce environmental impact.
Exactly. By using data, businesses can make smarter decisions that benefit both their bottom line and the planet.
You know, it's kind of mind-boggling to think about where all this is headed. Right. We've talked about smart cities and warehouses.
Right.
But, like, what about other areas? Where else could this IOTONIX tech make a difference?
Well, that's the exciting part, right? We're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
With IoT, think about healthcare, for instance.
Okay.
Imagine sensors that can monitor patients remotely, alerting doctors to potential issues before they even become serious, or agriculture sensors that optimize irrigation and fertilization based on real-time soil conditions.
So it's like having this constant stream of data to make better decisions no matter the industry.
Exactly. And it's not just about the tech itself, right? It's about what we do with that data.
Yeah, the real power of IoT is in how we analyze and interpret it.
Exactly. As we get better at that, we'll be able to solve problems in ways we can't even imagine right now.
That reminds me of something you said earlier about IOTONIX's success story.
Yeah.
You mentioned they collected data for a whole year. Before they made any changes to their chiller system, that seems like a key takeaway.
Yeah.
Sometimes the solution isn't obvious. It takes time and analysis to figure out the best approach.
Patience is key, especially when you're dealing with big data sets.
Yeah, it's tempting to jump to conclusions.
Right.
Or make like quick fixes.
Exactly. But the best solutions often come from taking a step back. Looking at the data as a whole and figuring out the root cause of the problem.
It's like being a detective, piecing together clues.
I like that analogy.
To solve a mystery, but instead of fingerprints and DNA, we're using data points and algorithms.
Exactly. And just like a good detective, we need to be careful not to let our own biases influence our interpretations.
Oh, that's a good point. It's easy to get caught up in our assumptions.
Right.
But data has a way of challenging those assumptions.
It does.
And revealing like unexpected truths.
Sometimes the data surprises you.
Definitely. But, you know, beyond the tech and the data analysis, there's something more fundamental here.
Okay.
What really struck me about IOTONIX is their focus on using tech to solve real problems.
Right. It's not just about cool gadgets.
It's about making a positive impact.
Exactly.
On businesses, communities, the environment.
That's what makes their work so interesting.
Yeah, they're not just developing tech.
Yeah.
They're using it to address some of the biggest challenges we face.
Right.
Whether it's improving air quality, reducing emissions, or managing resources better.
They're showing how IoT can be a force for good.
And I think that's an important message for our listeners to take away from this deep dive.
Absolutely.
As you explore the world of IoT and all these companies that are shaping it,
Yeah.
remember to think about the bigger picture.
Right.
How can this technology be used to make a difference? What problems are you passionate about solving?
Because in the end, the most powerful technology is the technology that makes the world a better place.
That's a fantastic point to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into IOTONIX and the power of data.
It was my pleasure.
We hope this episode has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to explore the endless possibilities of this IoT revolution.
The future is being built today.
So get out there, embrace the power of data, and let's create a brighter tomorrow today.